Alrighty, so welcome to episode 86 of a Jez and Friends podcast. We're close to 100 now. So started off the year with 83, I think. So, we're just grinding it out and having some good chats with mates. So today's episode, we've got Marley Wagner, who's a good mate from Melbourne Uni Aths Club. He's from Cairns, so, it's a long way away from Melbourne. A lot warmer as well. He just got back there. So, without further ado, we might start with the running journey. So tell me how you got into running, Molly.
Yeah, thank you, Joe. So start off, from Cairns, as Jerry said, just studying at Melbourne Uni. Basically how I got into the running journey. Basically through the grassroots system, I know grade 5, grade 6 is when I kind of started. It was in grade 5 where I did my school cross country, then went to inter-school, I think it is, and then basically just kept winning, like the regional team, made the team, I think I won, and then, went to the Queensland School Sport Championships, and then, not sure the placings I got there, they weren't as great, but for a runner who hasn't been training and just was naturally fit through swimming and touch football and a bit of rugby league, that was pretty much the main foundations. And from there, grade 5 and 6 was just going to the Queensland School of Sports. Didn't really have too much interest. I was just fit, an active young kid at 10, 11, 12 years old. And then, got into grade 7. And then that's kind of where it shifted a bit. As my other siblings, older brother and sister were running, and cousins that were starting to get into the sport, I joined the running group in Cairns called Pace Project.
Shout out.
Yep, shout out to them. So they were good actually. That's where it really started, and started training with them in grade 7 through to pretty much. I still train with them today in ways and race for them every now and then. That's pretty much the baseline. And then from there, I went grade 8, got a scholarship to Ipswich Grammar. They were great athletic schools. They got the names like Joseph Dang, Gout, and a few others to mention. They're really good athletic scholarship there. And that's kind of where I pursued just athletics and cross country at the GPS level, so the highest level greater private schools in Brisbane, and went on to like nationals and Australian competitions and such, and it was really good actually. So that answers the question, I guess. That's the running journey so far, and
it's such an amazing running journey you touched on, like going from there to here, and lighting it up already at cross country season. I reckon track's going to be massive for you, so it'll be exciting to see there. Just quickly with Cairns again, we spoke earlier about like training and the times you have to get up sometimes to train early before, like for sunrises and the heat and all that. So talk us through what time you train and all that and the heat.
In Cairns it's definitely a different environment to Melbourne. A lot smaller, and just different weather, different temperature, a lot more humidity, I'd say. It's just a different atmosphere to train in, but it's really, really good when you can get some good training in. I'd say winter time right now, I was just up there and it was still pretty warm, pretty humid, coming from Melbourne, but it was manageable, I'd say. About 5:30 I'd be training on a Tuesday, Thursday, kind of back end of the day, but when the sun's going down it starts to get a bit cooler. And then I'd say it's just a lot harder to train. The conditions being so humid, it's a lot of energy is taken out of the system, and calories burnt. But so that's for the sessions. And then long runs and easy runs depending whereabouts I train. I'll probably do those in the mornings, especially for long runs and easy runs,
like 6 a.m.
Yes,
Jeez.
kind of. It's different up there though because
Yeah.
you wake up earlier because it's warmer and the sun. Usually a lot of sun out.
So you naturally get up earlier.
Yeah, you naturally get up earlier compared to down here. And then if I'm doing easy runs like say Wednesday, Friday, for instance, I'd probably want to do them about 5:30 at the moment. That's winter, and then when summer comes, it's very tough. I'd say mornings would be the go-to, and then arvos that are really like late, and then just mainly mornings, I'd say.
And with quickly going back to training, what would a typical week look like for you in terms of like mileage, like your favourite sessions and all that?
Mileage probably like fresh old 70-80 Ks.
Yeah.
That's when I'm really training for a bigger race and an event. Over the weeks, trainings, I do like the shorter distance and track season sets. That'd be like 400, 600s, some 800s, maybe a few 1Ks. And then I do like monas, kind of on off.
Just like a
thresholds,
light,
kind of like 2 minutes on, 2 minutes off, or 1 minute on, 1 minute off, and then kind of really switching the intensities up. I really enjoy that. And it's just at the moment it's been longer reps, so it's enjoyable after the session, but during the session, if it's like 1 mile reps or 2K reps, it's always pretty tough. And it's kind of just knuckling those first few down, and then you kind of can see the enjoyment towards the back end of the set once you've done it actually.
Yeah.
So that's always the case. But it's those smaller sessions where it's intensity is changing and less distance to run is always fun, especially if you're on track and you can kind of just really tear it up. So yeah.
No, looking forward to that, mate. Because track, we talk the talk, but we should walk the walk, isn't it, right, mate?
Not saying anything.
True. Nah. But we'll back our training up for sure.
That's it.
Yeah. It's awesome getting to know your training and like how like some people in Melbourne take it for granted, like they don't have to get up as early to do long runs and all that. But yeah, if you're living in a hotter climate, you're gonna get cooked if you go out on a long run at like let's say 11 a.m. or something. So yeah, it's very interesting. Just quickly again, talk me through this college ambition, because if you don't talk about it, like it's not gonna become something more. So yeah, let's chat about that.
Yeah. Okay. College is probably always maybe a goal there. With running and just pursuing the dream. But yeah, at the moment for me, it's just knuckling down, focusing, because I'm at Melbourne Uni and getting the running and academics done. And really furthering my times at the moment. Have bigger ambitions of running the 3K and 1500 as well. So, and even possibly 5K would be on the card. So, and steeplechase. So those kind of distances vary between 15 pretty much to 5K. Just I say getting my times better and racing, just getting as much race experience, cause that's where good running happens, and you're able to see change and just get quicker. So
that'll be very interesting, because college, you have so many blokes from Queensland going there, and the likes of Noxie and a few others in Victoria. It just motivates like a lot of us in that like kind of 19 to 20-year-olds. Well, Marley's we're all still 18, but that 19 age group is a big one, because it'll be first year of college and you get like 4 years there, so you make the most of it with a uni degree, and also like most of them get accommodation, all that, all paid for. So that's a really good opportunity if you want to follow that for running. Awesome, mate. Let's chat about Cairns now. So growing up there, obviously it's a lot of fun because it's near the Great Barrier Reef, as you said to me. Like Magnetic Island as well, the jet skis. Talk me through that.
Yeah, I'm actually very grateful growing up in Cairns. It gave me the connections and the grounding, I'd say, where most other bigger cities don't give you that grounding and embedded in you. But yeah, it's always good to go. It's always a place I love to go back. Family, friends, connections, culture, and just people that enjoy back up in Cairns. Yeah, as Jerry touched on, I'd say it's a good lifestyle, work life balance. I'd say yeah, because I go out to the reef quite a lot on jet skis and go fishing and diving, and yeah, it's really picture perfect out there on a really nice day when you score it nice, and when the sun's out, it's just beautiful with the clear waters. And then there's rainforest, waterfalls, and a few others like that. It's always good to go to, and it's just really chill lifestyle. Everyone's really friendly up there. It's a lot smaller, like community wise. And yeah, it's just really nice. In the back end of the year, like in the summer, it does get pretty warm. However, it's one thing I'm still unsure of. It's not so that much the heat, I'd say. It's just the humidity that really takes it out of you, and you just get really drained. I'm sure if the Melbourne guys and guys like Jerry from down here go up there, there'd be a bit of a melting point in summer. But no, it's a really nice spot to have grown up in, and always go back and enjoy it on holidays. So yeah.
I think I was telling Marley when I was in Gold Coast early in January, I was dying and had like shirts off every day. But yeah, as a Timorese kid, I should be able to handle it because our summers is like 30 degrees humidity as well. So yeah, we'll see when I'm up in Cairns with Marley probably in the summer down there if I can handle it, mate. Do you reckon I can?
Yeah.
Yeah. No comment.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see when he really gets there and see how the weather is.
Mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yeah, and with the jet skis, how quick can you go on it, like K's wise?
Depending where you are and the conditions, I would say on the reef, you probably wouldn't want it. They get up to almost 120 an hour.
You'd lose control, yeah?
Yeah, it does feel a bit light at that speed, especially because you're on a jet ski. It's like a motorbike essentially, and not like a car where you can just be relaxed in. You've got the air coming at your face at 120 an hour. It's a bit of pressure.
A bit bumpy,
when there's a bit of wave and a bit of swell, it can really feel light and quite sketchy. But out in the reef and that, probably sitting like 80 an hour, 90 an hour, or sometimes 60 an hour, depending on waves as well. But yeah, if it's on a lake, it can get up to 100 an hour. But even then, it's a bit uncomfortable going that quick because it's it feels light, and hitting little bits of wave can really throw the front up, and it's really, really good.
That's an amazing story, mate. You'd love to, jump on a jet ski, see how we go. And with the Barrier Reef, is the coral I know touching a few years ago, I watched this documentary and it was all heavily bleached. Is it slowly recovering with what happened with COVID and all that, or is it still a bit grim? What's that?
Well, to be fair, I don't pay too much respect to science of it all, but I do believe there has been parts, and you can kind of notice it where it's bleached, and the weather conditions and really have changed the coral and global warming, as they say.
Yeah.
And there's some parts though that are
still
recovering.
Nice, yeah.
And there's a lot of still I know everywhere I go, there's not too much dead coral. There's a bit every now and then, depending where you are, but that might have been dead for the last 40 years or so. So
yeah,
I haven't noticed it too much where I am, but yeah, I'd say there's still overall, because it's such a large scale, there would be a fair bit dying and bleached because of the warmth up there that they do get. And yeah, I do believe that some of it's dying, and they might need action slowly coming in a few years to just regrowth and recreate. But I believe there is some a fair bit of regrowth happening at the moment, especially up there at the moment. So it's kind of left and right, but no, I believe it's still alright.
No, that's good, mate. Yeah, I don't want to be going there and the coral being all gone. So I want to see a little bit of it, hopefully. So fingers crossed there. We want to touch quickly on the NRL here because in Melbourne, AFL is probably the largest sport, and Marley probably gets sick of all of us talking about AFL, but NRL is the main sport in Sydney. I know with my cousins down there, and in Queensland as well. So, talk me through your love for St. George Illawarra, and just how the system works down there, what you guys do.
Yeah, so it's a different ball game, especially up in North Queensland as such, and Brisbane, I know that for sure. The rugby league programs are really big up in Cairns, because that's where a bit of the influence comes in from Cowboys and Broncos and Gold Coast Titans and now Dolphins. So there's all the grassroots programs happening everywhere. It's just on the weekend. I was at my cousin's A grade game, and yeah, so it's like rugby league, obviously. So it's different, but up there you kind of just ingrained with rugby league, because there's only Brisbane Lions and Gold Coast Suns up there in Queensland. So you kind of just get embedded with that, but. It's St. George at the moment has been
just like North Melbourne.
Yeah, hasn't been the best season again. I don't think, because it's much that I hate to say it, but it's a process of getting better, I guess. It was just on the weekend that the two bottom teams were fighting for the wooden spoon essentially. So I think they're in 16th position, second last or third last at the moment. So they're not doing the best, but the rugby league programs up there, it's a different ball game. So they got like your grassroots, like kind of like down here they have VFL, there's QRL, and there's other levels of rugby league in your local clubs, and kind of just situated in every town. So it's a lot of rugby league kids running around, and it's good atmosphere actually. I really liked it. But coming down here, I've still gotten around AFL, because in Brisbane I did have a bit of an influence on AFL, so I went to a few Brisbane Lions games, and so I'm a Lions supporter now.
Yeah, go Lions. Do you have a favourite player? Put you on the spot,
Charlie Cameron.
Yeah.
They've been doing pretty good actually. I do like Lions and like how they go about their stuff. But no, that's pretty much the influence, and that's rugby leagues. I haven't gotten sick of the AFL yet, but it's kind of ingrained with it when you come down here and just
100%.
push to follow an AFL team and go to the AFL. But no, I'm enjoying it. So far so good.
But which footy team do you hate the most? We all know it.
As an AFL team?
Yeah, as an AFL team.
Yeah, probably Collingwood.
Yeah, that's why no one likes them. What about NRL, actually? Who do you hate the most?
In NRL, I was thinking, I don't really hate any NRL teams, to be fair, but probably Panthers. Just
the bandwagon.
Yeah, kind of a bandwagon. Just not my cup of tea. Just not the best rugby league team to support, I'd say, but that's just coming from myself. So yeah.
That's right. I don't know who I hate in the NRL. I'll go for Storm because I live in Melbourne.
Yeah, that's fair, yeah.
State of Origin, I love Queensland. Like, even when I was really little, I still know, not much about NRL, but I always love watching, Cam Smith play, because he played for the Storm, Billy Slater and all that. Thurston as well. I remember watching a little bit of that. That was probably their golden years, right? And now the youngsters are stepping up. So maybe touch on the State of Origin and how much that means to, the Queenslanders and obviously the New South Wales people as well.
State of Origin, it's just between New South Wales and Queensland. It's like the epitome of rugby league. It's the top. You can't get any better than that. It's really enforced with the heritage and the game within the game, and it's just tradition. It's gone on, I don't know for how many years, but it's always spoken about in the media, especially in both New South Wales and Queensland. There's a lot of rivalry, hate, and argument and tetrament between both teams. But no, it's really big up in Queensland. everyone is back in a team, whether New South Wales or Queensland. Everyone just really gets around it. You'd see pubs. I know there was a game in Suncorp and the whole city was lit up with Queensland Maroons. That's the thing in Melbourne, I would say.
We lack
doesn't have that type of culture, especially I know like when Sydney were winning in 2021, not Sydney, but New South Wales, Sydney was like really lit up, and clubs and pubs and wherever you go would have New South Wales things, and with their sponsorships like Forex Gold across Queensland, that's rolled out everywhere. They have advertisement everywhere, campaigns. It's just massive, like absolutely huge. So yeah, it's always a big game, and everyone usually gets around it. So it's good. Brings a lot of money to the economy, and yeah, stimulates it. So it's good. Yeah.
No, it's beautiful, mate. And you kind of grow up wanting to wear that Maroons jumper. Is that kind of like enforced within this? Yeah.
To be fair, I was never a Maroon supporter.
Oh, right.
I could still go quietly for the Blues because I guess Dad and Illawarra,
because he's from New South.
Yeah, that had a big influence on me, and I kind of like I always liked my like first and that, but there was always went for the blue colours. So
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, there's always that dream of playing for the state, and whether it be by being both, because at the end of the day, that's usually like the epitome of it all. It comes down state versus state, mate versus mate. So it would always be the dream for every young kid watching the NRL, essentially.
No, that's amazing, mate, to hear. Yeah, interesting, the Blues, mate. I didn't realise. I assumed you were a Maroon supporter, but yeah, no, it's always good to support like the Blues as well. Yeah, it's interesting with Melbourne because we don't have something like that. We used to do like an EJ Wooden Legends game, so all the legends of AFL would join in for this charity game supporting men's prostate cancer, and they just play like a one-off friendly game between the Vic All-Stars where you wear like Team Vic stuff and the other team. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, we just need more of that in Melbourne just to liven it up a bit during finals, because it's kind of dead besides that. I want to touch quickly on our race tomorrow just because we haven't talked about it. So we're racing States Bundura, and because speaking about Maroons in New South Wales, there's a Team Vic jumper on the line. Growing up playing AFL, you didn't really get like state jumpers on the line, this or that. It was mainly just interleague. But like the Team Vic jersey would look pretty sick, Marley, yeah, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for sure. That's the goal tomorrow.
Yeah. What's the tactics?
Tactics, and Bundura's being an 8K course, 2 laps of hills essentially. It's a very hilly course, so 4K loops. It should be good. I'm going to give it our all for the Vic team jumper, but no, it should be good. Tactics, just really relax that first 4K and make sure I got plenty in the bank in the second 4K, because I know it'll be a tough course, a lot of fatigue playing in, and then just being 8K, very very tough. So you just got to make sure you got plenty in the bank with 4K, 2K to go, and just really hammer it home and bring it home. So yeah,
we've carb loaded with pizza tonight. So hopefully that gets us that extra like 2K to go. You know, when you're like hurting, and that gets us going. I got to get on the waters as well. We'll cut this bit out. Don't worry. I wanted to quickly touch on the degree because most people, who go to Melbourne Uni do your cliche like arts program or your biomed and this and that. Like, to be fair, both of us are doing like a bit more random. Like, it's not as, your popular kind of degrees. Like, I'm doing journalism and you're doing design. So you want to talk more about the degree and, the internships you've done and stuff?
Yep. So, as Jerry said, I'm doing Bachelor of Design, majoring in construction and property. So that'll get me into, hopefully, project management and construction management. Then also with that property side, property evaluator, etc. and a few of those property jobs and estimators and stuff. But yeah. So with my degree, it's kind of well known, but with the majority of people not studying it, so where they'd be doing their biomedicine, commerce, and science degrees and other stuff like that. Design's got its own faculty, so it's big in its ways. In people, maybe not as such, but it's still pretty big. But yeah, it's a good degree. I'm enjoying it, so doing well. Just completed my first semester, so that went right. Interning in the city of Melbourne, actually at Slattery, which is quantity surveying place. I picked up this internship. I think it was in the newsletter, and just applied. Gave them an email, and they're chill as because it's an internship scholarship.
Oh, that's amazing.
So it worked out well, actually. So did that for a bit of experience, and then had just completed my other internship in Cairns. That was just for the mid semester break. For just over 3 weeks. That was for RPS, which is a big project management company. I really enjoyed that, actually, working on some of the bigger projects in North Queensland. And it was interesting seeing the scope of works and different scale of works and how it runs on site and how people manage people, essentially, and manage contracts and money and all sorts of different stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Bit of pocket money as well. Always helps. So
That's beautiful, mate. Yeah. And as you said, like working with these like directors and people higher up, kind of what's it like? You're next to like a big dog in the room, and they've got like the degrees and experience, whereas you're interning. How do you feel in that room, and kind of what's the vibe there, mate?
Well, when you go to your internship, you always feel welcome, depending on where you work. I felt pretty welcomed, and just being able to network and talk to them. They were really experienced, obviously, but they are always back down to earth. Like they're once in your position, so they were understanding of that, and they wanted you to learn the most you could. So yeah, it was really good, actually, just being able to talk to them about their experiences, what their take from things were, and how their advice really helps you stimulate your career and gets the passion and involvement within the industry and internships. So it worked out well.
Yeah, no, it's really good. And any cheeky questions you've asked them, or just more about career stuff?
Yeah, kind of. It'd mostly just be about it'd be questions about how the project's running, how are they going to hit the milestones in 2 weeks if there's issues occurring right now, and kind of just general questions like that I was not sure of, and what their advice and their take on things were. So that was it.
No, awesome. Thanks for sharing that, mate. Now we move on to some funny stories. We love this segment because brings out the best in us. Marley, do you have any funny stories from, like, obviously you've been with the club for 4.5 months now, so do you remember any, like, early on or, like, recently, or just back in Queensland as well?
With the club, I'd say a funny story was with Lewis. Lewis used to run with us. Well, he supposedly still does. He hasn't said he's quit.
He's been on hiding.
He's just hasn't been shown up to training. There's a funny story when he wore his $2, I think it was a Gold Coast Australia kit from the Merchandise Australia store. That was just a funny training session. And he's a funny guy, and some of the funny stories that he's said and brought to training always brings the banter. So
shout out to him.
Yeah, so that was one of mine.
I remember when he tried to offer Reese that singlet, and Reese quickly just said, "Nah, mate."
Yeah, you could tell it was a type of bogan singlet. With the Australian, it looked a bit. How you going?
It's more just for the souvenir type, like for tourists. Yeah,
it's not one you'd be wearing around and wearing to a running
it's not like a Team Vic or Team Queensland.
And there was another one where he wore his Adidas shorts, the Adidas white shorts to the race, and was just questioning whether he'd be right to run in those because as you know, the Adidas shorts, they were cotton. I think they were made. They're like more stylish type of shorts. They weren't running shorts as such. They weren't even like polyester or anything like that.
Yeah. That probably cost us a minute or two in that gel park relays.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And they were wide as well in a muddy course, so you could just imagine how that water went down. Yeah, so
something else, and taking selfies
funny.
in the cool down. I think when we were doing the cool down with Louis, he was taking photos of a lake, and it was just the lake didn't offer much, but I mean, respect. He thought he did, so fair enough there. Any honourable mentions with the uni boys? Oh, Steve Langdon, he needs to get in the podcast. He's a pretty funny bloke, isn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I reckon all the boys just need to get around it.
Yeah, we've had a few on.
Yeah, have boys and beers and do a bit of a podcast with Jez. So it's really good.
Nah, good fun, man. I'm sure tomorrow, whatever happens, we're gonna reminisce this and chat about it next time as well. So we move on to best advice, Marley. This one is more like kind of quote you've grabbed from someone or anyone like that's given you some good motivation over the years, like an athlete as well, possibly.
Yeah, I don't have like the best quotes I'd say, but it's mainly the words.
Right.
Just take the opportunities. That was always one that was always said, opportunity, and just being able to take that and take the opportunity even if you're unsure of it, where it could take you, because you're never sure of where you might end up, and if you hadn't taken the opportunity, you wouldn't know. So it's always good to take the opportunities and get out there. And another quote was put in what you get out. So if you put in a lot of effort, you can see there's going to be a future reward just constantly there. So if you put in the effort at training, like for instance, like last term or last semester, I could see my results bettering from a third in the Vic 10K was one. I was training good up to then, and then race good. So and I could see myself, especially this coming track season where it's a lot closer and tighter racing. I could see myself, if I'm constantly hitting the times, I'll be able to put in that hard work and get the result I require or I want. So it's just put in that work, and you'll seek the rewards. And that could be, you might not see the results so quick, and they might not happen so quick, but if you're constantly putting that work in over a 5-year, 10-year period, whatever, you'll see results, and you'll start to see them happen significantly.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's just like anything, really. If you keep putting in the yards like week in, week out, that's where it pays off, because we know those people like who, let's say, train hard for 2 months and then go into hiding for the next 2 months. That's where like you're not going to get as many gains as someone like yourself or others in our squad. Like our whole squad trains year in, year out. That's where, you're going to see that jump in the next 3 to 4 years. Because we're 18, 19, we've still got like our best years of track ahead. Isn't that right, mate? Yeah,
for sure. We're not settling down just yet, so we've got plenty to go, and only onwards and upwards from here. So this will only be the beginning for the racing and track season. So there's heaps more to come as well. Yeah, and I'll hold you to that, because during track season, I think that's where we make our gains, when we pull up this footage and make a clip of PBs left, right, and centre. So that'll be amazing, mate. And a good segue, mate. 2023, we're halfway through already. Obviously, track season's a main goal for both of us. So maybe touch on a few goals there, a few goals with uni, and just life, mate. It's always good to have goals, smart goals, even
Very
if they're
smart.
ambitious as well. You might have a 10-year goal that you want to be in the Olympics, but you need to break that down and see how you're going to get there, essentially. So some of my goals this year, training for, just to get track season was one of my goals. The shorter term goal will be nationals coming up. Tomorrow's a goal, making the big team. Hopefully it's in that top 10 area maybe. Has been a goal, and to sit in that, even at nationals, hopefully top 10, top 12 and under 20s would be really ultimate. To see how I go there, and because I've been putting the work. So hopefully I can see some reward from that. And goals track season come by. Just being able to go like an 8:30 in the 3K. I believe I can. Like I've run 8:40 last year, so I want to go sub 8:30 and see what I can really do. If that's maybe running an 8:45 1 week, 2 weeks later I can do 8:35. I don't know, like just goals like that where I can see myself persisting and overcoming and just being resilient with it. And goals with uni are just putting that effort in that uni and putting the effort in and getting good grades back, and just the smaller stuff and the 1%ers at training, doing the small diet, having a good diet and rolling and stuff like that, where I can see that's going to improve my overall effort come 2 weeks time. So yeah, stuff like that really helps at the end of the day.
Yeah, I like what you said there with the diet and 1%ers, because a lot of kids our age, we like to party, but when you're doing that consistent, like eating a lot of fruit, like a fruit a day is like something my dad always says to me. So like if you get that right and, you know, you recover, I know foam rolling is massive for you. Just like, I always try and foam roll after each run. So if you don't do that, that's where you start getting injuries and whatnot. So you reinforce that, yeah. You want to be able to keep showing up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, what I was saying, those 1%ers, I was told by a few coaches that I've been with over the years, Jill Bolt's and Pace Project, she was an Olympian actually. She told me about the 1%ers. I remember on training camps and stuff, as well as Jaden Russ and Brisbane Athletics coach. Yeah, kind of just what you put in is what you get out, and just being smarter with your running. Like, you might be able to train better, or there might be a kid that's your age just running better than you, but he's having 9.5 hours of sleep. You're only having 7 or 6 hours of sleep a night. You're coming back from training, not having the right food and recovery, and the small things that you don't really think about usually. Like, it could be doing a core session after you run on an easy day, as well as rolling, and you're not doing that, but someone else is. And I feel like that's the big 1%ers. That's the 1%ers where we need to be doing those smaller things, and that's where your time will improve by probably substantially. It could be up to 3 seconds in just a few weeks and stuff like that.
Yeah, a PB is always a PB, and, you know, track's going to be very hard. So I think if we keep pushing each other, that's, you know, onwards and upwards from there. Any last shout outs you want to mention? Any special honourable mentions?
Yep. I'd just like to say, firstly, shout out to Jerry for having this podcast.
Hey, boys.
And shout out to Melbourne Uni Athletics Club and all the team there. I'd say they really need to get around this podcast. Support my boy Jez out. Free Jez. And yeah, thank you for the podcast.